really be here because I've come from London and I'm not really a northerner. But I did used to go to university here, like about 30 years ago, so that counts, right? Yeah. And part of my book is actually set in Manchester, so I figure that definitely counts, yeah? So I'm going to read you a bit from my debut novel, which is called Six Dead Men, which is over there. I'm not going to say anything about it. I hope the extract's going to speak for itself. For the first week, Maddie just slept. She knew Brendan didn't understand it. Maddie, what's going on? You've been hidden in the box room for days now and you barely speak to anyone. You won't even tell me why you're here. I just need some space, Brendan, some time away from London. She didn't want him to ask to explain. She didn't know how. Brendan did a circuit around the scuffed coffee table which sat between the telly and the IKEA futon. For about the fifth time, he stumbled over the tatty sheepskin rug, which was meant to disguise the even tattier carpet beneath it. I like having you here, but you could at least try to be a bit more sociable. My friends are starting to think I made up the sister story and I'm just a sad bastard. Does it matter what they think? It was better for her to stay out of the way at any rate. She wished she could explain this to him. Brendan threw himself onto the futon and slumped down with his long legs stretched out. He thumped the leg of the coffee table with a trainer-clad foot in a gesture Maddie had all but forgotten. She knew he was mad at him. She couldn't blame him. I'll call him down in London and find out, you know. His tone was challenging. So call then. She knew he wouldn't call. He was worried that our sister Ali would give him the third degree about how his studies were going, and from what she could see, not a lot of that was happening. And in any case, he'd never been that close to Frankie. He might call Louise, but there was only a slight chance of that. Maddie watched her brother tussle with the thought of talking to his other siblings, and saw his desire to stay out of the limelight of the sibling wars win out over wanting to know what was bothering Maddie. Look, I know you've got mates coming around later. I'll make myself scarce. There's a movie I want to see. Whatever. Brendan rearranged his legs on the futon and stretched his arm out for the television remote. Maddie heard the electronic click and buzz as the set came on, and she knew he'd given up on the question for the time being. Maddie moved out a month later. Your friends are too noisy, and they keep me awake. Oh, come on, Mads. If you didn't stay in so much, it wouldn't be a problem. Brendan looked just like Frankie as he stood with his legs apart and his fists on his hips. I need to get a place of my own. I'm going to stay in Manchester a bit longer than I said. Maddie, what the hell's going on? It's Frankie, right? You guys never did get on. Maddie found herself nodding, but she really didn't want him to know the truth. How his mate Andy had bumped into her in the corridor on his way to the loo. His smile had been engaging and his "hello, love" had set panic alarms ringing inside her mind. She had shrunk back against the confining space of the too small hall and prayed that no part of her would touch him. How could she be so stupid, coming to live with her brother, forgetting he would have all his mates around? Now she had a job in the kitchen at St. Joseph's Shelter for Homeless and Abused Young Women, and she was sharing a 2-bedroom flat with Carla, who also volunteered at the shelter. If she managed her savings just right, she figured she could do this till she found a job that didn't bring her into direct contact with too many people. All right, love, said the grinning bus driver as Maddie hopped on. She smiled at him. She loved that about Manchester, the way people treated you as if you were part of their family. She felt warmed and miserable all at once. A young man in a smart raincoat with a golfing umbrella sporting a Salford estate agent's logo smiled engagingly at her. On the verge of returning the friendly gesture, she scowled and said, and pushed her way past him and upstairs to avoid him trying to chat her up. Once settled on the top deck, she closed her eyes briefly and took a deep breath to steady her jangling nerves. Sometimes, the self-imposed restraint under which she lived left her feeling raw. Hey, Mad! She jumped, her heart rattling in her chest. Maddie looked over towards the voice. Relief washed over her. It was Cara, and she was indicating there was a free seat next to her. Maddie worked her way along the aisle of the swaying bus and sat down, time to pretend that her life was normal. How's the job hunting going, Cara? Still slow. It seems I lack experience. Are you heading up to St. Joseph's now? We're a bit early. Yeah, I heard that a whole bunch of new girls came in yesterday, all still in their teens. I guess that means we'll be pretty busy tonight. They both sighed sadly. Maddie felt safe at the homeless shelter where she could stay hidden in the kitchen, cooking and serving food. She never had to come into direct contact with anyone except Cara and Moira, the supervisor. She also preferred to work nights because there were fewer people volunteering, and so she could steer clear of any complications. She could try to be a good Samaritan and perhaps make up for the evil she had done. What else could she do? Her brow furrowed, she spotted the young man she had tried to avoid in the lower deck making his way upstairs. He tried to make eye contact with her as he headed towards a space that had become vacant behind her and Cara. His hand brushed against hers briefly where it lay on the handrail. She turned her head sharply and pretended to look out at the steamed-over window. "Stuck-up bitch," he muttered as he sat down. She swallowed the saliva that was suddenly threatening to swamp her mouth and said, "It's too hot up here, I'm going downstairs. I feel a bit faint." "Oh, okay," said the amused Cara. "I'm going to stay here and read my book. See you in a bit." Maddie nodded and made her way back down to the lower deck of the bus. She clung onto the rail at the exit doors with both hands and pressed her cheek against the cool metal. It made the heat of her panic subside somewhat, and she began to feel a little better. He had been trying to chat her up for a week now. She had to take a different bus tomorrow. No, every day from now on. No routine. Have to avoid seeing the same people. Mustn't let people notice me. Got to be more careful. Later, in the sanctuary of her bedroom, shunning sleep to avoid the nightmares which plagued her constantly, Maddie wrote in her journal. She employed this writing ritual religiously. She had bought the notebook in a pound shop because she liked the pre-Raphaelite picture on the front. La Belle Dame Sans Merci by Sir Frank Dixie, circa 1902. Every 20 or so pages, the notebook had a new picture. Something in these images appealed to Maddie. They spoke of a world beyond the ugliness she felt was beginning to overwhelm her. Besides the picture on the front cover, another of Maddie's favourites was the Lady of Shalott. When she first saw the print, the woman seemed so at peace with her tapestry. But the closer Maddie looked, the more she sensed the isolation and loneliness of the depicted picture. Often, Maddie would stare at the picture and feel she was that woman, trapped in the tower. From the pound shop, she had also bought a set of scented gel pens, which smelled nothing like the scent they claimed to be. But Maddie liked the lurid colours of them. She always used a different colour for a new entry. Tonight, it was Andrew's turn. She chose the acid green pen from the pot on her tiny bedside table and wrote steadily till her eyelids began to flutter and she could scarcely see the page. Andrew was nice. I only met him but once. He told me I could get into modelling. Didn't really believe him. Even I know I'm way too short. But he was interested in what I had to say. Listened to me. I think I even talked about college. Brendan gave me one almighty lecture about him on the way to that party. Had to remind him I was older than he was and didn't need looking after. Besides, everybody else was there. I was in no danger whatsoever. But Louise had to spoil everything, kept insisting Andrew spiked my drink. Ridiculous. Just because he caught us kissing. So stupid. Something so simple. And that's how I did it. Andrew wanted to kiss me, and I let him. And now he's reminded of the reason for her exile. Maddie couldn't continue. She curled herself into a fetal position around the journal, her hand still clutching the supposedly lime-scented pen in a death-like grip. Unhappy thoughts raged through her mind till mental exhaustion finally pushed her into sleep. Every night, she wrote a little more about what she remembered of each of her victims. And each night, she tried to ascertain why this was happening to her. And each night, she failed to find an answer. And in the coldest hours before the dawn, without fail, she woke in a trembling sweat from yet another nightmare. Robert Deed regularly featured in these dreams of terror. What if I've killed him? Oh God, I don't want him to be dead. But if he was alive, he'd come and find me. He was the one person Maddie thought of constantly, but never wrote about in her journal. If she wrote about him, then it would mean that, like the others, he was dead. She didn't want that for him. She really needed him to be alive. So many times she imagined him tracking her down, knocking on her door, and wrapping her in his arms, telling her everything would be just fine. But then the daydream would dissolve, and Maddie would remind herself of the look she had seen on his face that day at Manchester Piccadilly, and how impossible it was for him to want to help her make everything right again. Stupid, stupid woman. How could any man love you knowing what you are? Because if by some miracle she hadn't managed to kill him, Maddie had no doubt Robert Dean knew exactly what she was. And this was why she would never see him standing outside her door, ever.